Hello, I'm Judy Wood. Welcome to Woodland Permaculture. Today I'm finally getting out into the backyard to start preparing the backyard for planting next spring. This coming spring, which is just a couple of months. So I have to get working. What I'm doing in this area is I'm digging out some of the excess dirt that had been piled there from when we dug our pool. And I've moved a lot of it down there, but now there's not enough room anymore, so I'm going to start piling it right next to it. And then I'm going to kind of do a modified hugelkultur. I've got this big pile of sticks and roots and stuff that I've been collecting over the months, not knowing quite what to do with it. So I think I'm just going to bury it and let it decompose over the next few years and provide long-term nutrients to my garden. And so that's what I'm working on today, digging and moving some sticks over. And then once that is done, once I've got all my sticks and roots and stuff buried, I'm going to cover it with some more dirt, and then I'm going to put down cardboard and compost and mulch just like I did in my front yard. Oh, and I'm also going to be doing some earthworks as I'm piling the dirt back on there, and I'm going to be kind of creating a pathway for water to go through. I want my gray water system to finally dump out at the back of this shed right here and come out right there. And then, so what I want to do is to make a pathway for that water to kind of meander through the garden along this back side right here, so that it goes really slow and so that it sinks in to the ground and doesn't just run right off of my yard, and it'll sink in and really help my garden. And that'll help me keep from having to really put in a drip system, which I really don't want to put in a drip system. I just want to be able to, the water to be able to do what it wants to do, and I'm going to guide it. That's the goal anyway. So first thing I'm going to do is a little bit of digging. Closer. It's good to know my digging muscles haven't gotten any weaker. Whew. Yeah, it's tiring. Okay, so I think I've dug out as much as I want, and I'm going to start filling it up with some sticks and roots and things. So this is the big limb that I cut off of my apple tree in September. And now it's going to be food for the rest of my garden. So this is what my hole now looks like, filled up with some of those sticks and branches and roots and stuff. And now I'm just going to fill it back up with this rest of this dirt. And you may notice that there's a bit of a slope. It's kind of high at the top and it comes down a little lower down here towards the bottom, and that's good. I want to keep it that way because that will help with my water flow that I want to do. Okay, I think I've got all of the sticks and the roots and stuff covered up now, but I want to start actually using the dirt that I'm digging now over in this area and forming pathways for the water. So I'm going to build up right here a little berm and then a little berm along this edge here, and then I can build up like a berm right here so that water can go around this berm. And then I'll build another berm up here so that the water can go around this way. Kind of see how that works? So I think that's how I'm going to do it. Try and build up instead of trying to dig in to where the water is going to go. So that's what I'm doing now, and then I'll finish up pretty soon today. But this is work that I'll be doing over the next couple of weeks. Maybe not that long, maybe the next week or so if I'm efficient enough to get this whole area here done in that way before I start layering things. Okay, it's been a few days since I worked out here in my garden, and I've come to a decision to do things a little bit differently. If you remember, I was going to have water come down this way, and then zigzag through the garden. And I've decided, because there is a bit of a slope that comes down this way, that I think I'm going to just have 4 burrows, swales, going straight down from this first swale here. So water will come through here and then divide up into 4 different swales going down the garden, because I'm making a slope going that way. So I'm hoping that's what will work. I'm going to work on some of that right now and then test it out. But first I have a sad thing I have to do. This morning, my cat Alexander, you've seen him, he's getting better at hunting. And somehow he got one of the fish out of our pond. And we're very sad about that. But I'm going to bury our little fish in my garden so they can nourish the soil and go back to the earth. So I'm going to do that first. Let's get closer. Now you may be thinking I didn't bury him deep enough, but I haven't had any problems yet. Alexander, he likes to play with his captures. He doesn't eat them, so I don't think he's going to dig it up. And we don't really have too many wild animals that come through here. So I think it's going to be pretty safe. And now I'm going to get back to work, working on those swales that go down into my garden. Time for a little test. I'm going to take my hose and put it right there at the very beginning and turn the water on, and let's see what happens. starting to go down there, but it's getting a little held up. There's the culprit. And now it's going this way, and it's starting to go down there. I can see that. Don't like it, do you, but I can see right where the holdups are, so I can fix it. Of course, I have to be careful. There's a lot of mud now. I think I'm going to regret this. This mud with this clay sticks to your shoes like anyone's business. Alright, but it seems to be working. I love it. That's making it. That's making it. This is making it. This one here is having trouble, but I think it's because of all the wood underneath it. And the water's going in between it. But I think it'll work out all right. All right, I better turn that water off before I get trapped. Okay, I think my first test worked. And so I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep digging out, putting in some wood and branches. I don't have a whole lot left, so I probably won't do that too much longer. And then making berms and swales so that water can roll down that slope. Ah, fish killer. So that's what I'm going to be doing for the next few days, and I'll catch up when the time's right. Right, everybody, a few days later, and I have finished all of my furrows. And also yesterday afternoon, I started down at this end with the cardboard, putting cardboard down. And of course I put a layer of dirt on top of that, mainly to hold it down, but I'm also going to put some more down and then put down some mychorizai. And then, of course, compost and mulch. And so then this section will be done. And I'm so excited. I'm getting closer. And the hardest part of this is done. I'm also thinking now, I love the furrows and I love their water retention. But I'm now thinking, I don't know how well I can guarantee water will actually flow down these. I tested and it worked really well. But now that I'm putting cardboard down and more dirt and with the compost and mulch, I cannot guarantee that water will flow the way I want it to. So I may just use these furrows for regular water retention and soaking it into the soil, but may also just put down some drip lines through here, which is not something I'm looking forward to, but I know I have to learn how to do that sometime. All right, here I go. I'm going to keep putting some cardboard and stuff down. Just as a reminder, I put down the carbon for 2 reasons. One, it works as a good weed block, and I know there's probably a lot of grass seed in here from the old lawn that used to be here, but also it puts carbon back into the soil, which is where that carbon belongs. And so it helps to nourish the soil and also helps keep that carbon out of the landfill or having to be recycled again and again. Now it's going back where it belongs. Okay, my next step is to put some more mychorizai on there, which is a beneficial fungi, and that will help give nourishment to the soil and help with the communication of all the plants underneath the ground. This stuff is really good and very valuable, so I'm going to make sure that that is in my soil. Now it's time for some compost, which I still have a small pile of it in front of my house. Okay, now it's just time for some mulch. Okay, that's one section done. I think I've got about 3 or 4 more sections like that still to do. Cardboard, some dirt, mychorizai, compost, and mulch. And then this whole section will be ready to plant. I can't wait. Come back in a little bit and I'll show you what else I'm doing. Gotta take off the plastic tape. All right, I'm finally done with this section. It took me a little extra time. I had some delays. Well, actually I had other projects I needed to get working on for my own personal deadlines. So this one had to kind of go by the wayside for a few days. But check it out, I've got this section all done. The next thing I have to do is I still have a small section left right here next to the fence, going up to the pool pump, right to all around this tree, our apple tree, and right up to the mulch right here. This mulch part is all done, so I just have this one last section to do. You can see here where I have marked off a section of ground surrounded by bricks, and this is where I'm going to build my fire pit. And the wheelbarrow's there kind of in the middle. Right here in the middle where that ugly can is, it's a, hi sweet Alex. That's where the fire pit will be. And everything around it will be a brick patio kind of thing. So that is what has to happen next, but at least this section over here is ready for planting. And I'm excited about that, and have to get some plants to put into it. So thanks so much for joining me again, and I really appreciate you sticking with me and learning along with me with my projects. And just a reminder what I did here, I layered down the dirt, and then on top of that, cardboard and compost and mulch. And that was after I dug my furrows for some water retention. So I think it's looking pretty good, and I just can't wait to start planting some trees back here. I've got some fruit trees that I want to plant, and way back in the corner back there, where is it? Boo, way back in the corner back there, I think I want to try and put a pistachio tree. I need to get some nut trees in here, so I'm hoping for pistachios. We'll see what happens. Thanks again for joining me. You guys take care, stay safe, and God bless.